What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting, man. We got a great little bit of NASCAR news to go over. Some big news dropping this week in the sport. Man, hey, I'm glad everybody's having a good time, and thanks for tuning in, y'all. But if you're new to this, the way we like to get this started out is what we call the word of the day. So every time I say a word, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage, have no idea what it's going to be. Lawrence will throw it up there. Let's see here. Last week's word was Larson, which, talking about that, I'm sure we said that a few times there, especially in the waiver and this and that. But, this week's word is going to be, I have no idea, man, but make sure you take a sip every time I say it. And I always like to say it's age appropriate as well. It's summertime. If you're under 21, stay up late, man. Sweet tea, Kool-Aid, get a Red Bull or two, Monster, whatever you're into, man. Crank it up. So getting into the NASCAR news, and before we get started, do want to say thoughts and prayers out there on a somber note. Lost a racing legend there in Parnelli Jones this week. This is the 1960s version of Kyle Larson. If nobody knows, you better look it up. Dude is amazing. I mean, raced everything, won in a lot of stuff. Just a really good wheelman behind the wheel, and really a true legend of the sport that doesn't get enough credit for what he's done and was able to do. So thoughts and prayers, man, and Godspeed, my friend. So, again, if you tuned in Sunday there at Worldwide Technology, you saw it. Austin Cindric came home victorious with that checkered flag. Second career win there for Austin Cindric. If you know, he won the 500, Daytona 500, and turned around and got this one there. Look, man, really good little run. Penske was strong. We'll talk more about it. But, hey, at the end of the day, as of right now, in the playoffs, man. So, the news that we were all waiting for this week, I mean, let's be honest. Again, I said it a million times. Like, if you ever thought that he wasn't going to get one, you guys are tripping. But Kyle Larson, man, got the waiver to contend for that Cup Series championship there. There was some controversy there going back and forth. You have to start the race, to actually get the points to contend for the championship. We all know he tried to do the double, race the Indy 500, got rain delayed, was late getting to Charlotte. He did everything he could in his power to make it happen. And, yeah, he made a choice and this and that. But let's be honest, man. What he did was always amazing for the sport. Anybody that can do it and get the backing to go and do it, and I hope he does it again next year, honestly. But at the end of the day, anybody that can do it, come on, man. You didn't start a race, all right, but you got to win. Like, honestly, I feel like if you don't start the race, right, you get 0 points, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you're still point eligible, if you can still make it in on points or a win and it puts you there, then you should be eligible. And that's exactly what happened. So glad Larson got it. NASCAR went back and forth. They stalled a little bit. Uncharted territory, as they say. We're going to talk a little bit more about this here later on in the show for sure. So if you guys haven't yet, man, please go out, like, share, follow, all that social media, man. Lawrence does a great job. He keeps up with it. I follow mine, but Lawrence does a great job, But at the end of the day, you can find us on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, he keeps throwing up the damn forward sign, which is already cuss words. We're gonna throw some in there. Man, I'm glad I have my glove on, Lawrence. I'm glad I have my glove on. I'd have been calling Redfin. I'm glad I have my glove on. Look, it does a great job, man. You can follow us out there, Facebook, everything, but most of all, make sure you go out, you subscribe to that YouTube channel. That's kind of the bread and butter, man. The more eyes we get on it, hopefully the more eyes we get on the charitable causes we do here at Coach's Corner and on Rubbin' and Grubbin'. So like I said, if you haven't, go out, like, share, follow. Still giving away the Alex Bowman signed helmet. Like I said, first time 48 wins, or, at the end of the year, we're going to give it away at some point in time. We'll come up with something if we start creeping it down without a win. We'll definitely come up with something to give it away. So if you're new to subscribing, make sure you comment in the comments, hashtag Alex the Showman Bowman. That way we know you're new. But anybody can win it, from the first subscriber down to 300 and whatever we're at now. Anybody can win the helmet, man. Cool little man cave piece if you're into NASCAR. Subscribe, follow. Thanks for the support, y'all. So a little bit of news came out I read about this morning. Kyle Busch, I tell you what, I mean, 3 days apart, wrecking there at Indy, testing for the Brickyard 400 that we're bringing back, which is probably one of my most exciting moments of the 2024 season that we're going to get to see. I love it. I think that when we started in '94, to come back there. I mean, come on, man. We never should have left, to be honest. Never should have ran the road course. Never should have even left. But at the end of the day, had a wreck. And, look, man, this is something that I want to talk a little bit about. Has Kyle Busch's time in NASCAR passed him by? And let's talk about that, right? And we'll talk about it more next week. I'm not going to go too far into depth, but I'd love to hear your comments on it. Has his time honestly passed him by? And, I would love to hear your reasoning of whys and what happened to make it happen. But I've got my own, and we'll talk about that next week. So, but love to hear your comments on it for sure. So, old Denny the Weasel, man, he's back at it again. Had some comments about SHR and what he thought. He thought, which I thought were pretty comical, Tony Stewart and Gene Haas got tired of, playing in NASCAR's little sandbox and got fed up with NASCAR. That man, anybody that's been watching it long enough to know, when you had a guy from Harvick going contending for championships and winning multiple races a year, high number of multiple races a year, to not winning anything there in the last couple, and nobody really contending out of that camp, and you had Ford money, and you had 4 cars, you shot yourself in the foot. After Harvick basically quit winning those races, should have went from 4 to 2 cars. Should have sold 2 charters, got the big bucks, rebuilt. You're spending half the money a year. You're focused in, et cetera, et cetera. And I get sponsorship and all that. You could have fit all that in. Waited a little long. No, I think they got tired of it, honestly. I mean, I think Gene Haas said, why, when I'm pumping this money into Formula One and all this stuff, and Tony's into his drag racing, and you kind of lost all your leadership when Harvick left. Didn't have the veteran driver. You didn't have a guy really to steer that program in directions. You put people into place. Maybe they didn't work out. Maybe the inner core of management fell apart. Whatever it may be. But I'm not going to say they got tired of NASCAR stuff. I mean, obviously, you're a team ownership, and you're not going to stay in the sport that long just to go, well, I'm tired of it. So, I mean, I guess if something doesn't go Denny Hamlin's way and Michael Jordan's way at 23-11, they're just going to close shop too. Come on, man. You're going to give it everything you got. But anyways, thought it was pretty funny. So some more news, man, a little somber news, bittersweet. June 11th, going to be the last race hub there that you're going to see ever. 90-minute episode. And I tell you what, for me, as long as I can remember, it was definitely a staple growing up. Now, I'm old enough to remember when it was on Speed Channel and you had, all kinds of crazy stuff going on, a lot of different commentary and a lot of different people. But Race Hub's been around forever and did a great job, reporting in on a sport that we all love in NASCAR. Some great guys that have been on and off the crew throughout years and great insight to the sport and just knowledgeable. So if you're a big NASCAR fan, man, make sure you tune in. Make that one of the highest viewed, race hubs ever. I mean, make sure you check it out. I'll be tuning in for it for sure. Bittersweet, but just want to say thanks to everybody that's been involved in that. Really good job of keeping NASCAR at the forefront as much as you can, man. So thank you guys for that for sure. So that'll wrap it up for the NASCAR news, man. We're getting into that checkered flag for charity. And I tell you what, Lawrence was telling me last week we are going to do something that John Henderson tends to do every year here for a great local 501c, correct? Lawrence 501c. Help save one of our own. We're donating in. Had a cooler here the past couple weekends. We'll have one coming up this weekend as well. So if you plan on coming up to catch a concert and coach a Soundgarden, make sure you bring some extra bucks with you, man. Donate to those good causes. This is a great, amazing company. It all stays local. They help somebody out or a family, a person, whatever it may be. They definitely do a really good job of gathering up money from different businesses and putting it together and really helping a lot of folks. So excited to do it, as I am for anybody and everybody when we do it. So like I say all the time, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever it is you got to give, man, make sure you bring it up here to coaches, throw it in. Like I say, if you want to donate and it's not at a concert, stop your waiter, stop your waitress, John, Adele, anybody you see in here, man, just let them know, hey, I want to donate in, check a flag for charity or help save one of their own. They make sure it goes to the right place, man. So on the year, we're up to like $1,347 for that. We raised a little money for somebody else. At the end of the day, we're not doing too bad. Not maybe where we've been in the past, but we got some big concerts coming up, big turnouts, hopefully. Hopefully some, generous people out there ready to throw some dough in for their community. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, man. So, again, stay tuned. I mean, we got Cooler Full of Joys. We're going to have some other stuff coming up around July 4th weekend. I'm going to do a really big package for anybody that's into pyrotechnics, man. If you like fireworks, you're going to have a chance to win a really nice one. We'll probably raffle that one off over the next few weeks coming up, not this week, probably in a couple weeks. Got to get with Lawrence and John, talk about it. But we'll probably do a little bit of a different raffle for that. But it's going to be worth some money, and it's going to be big. If anybody that knows me and knows Pyrotechnics, I don't mess around, man. I buy the biggest, baddest stuff they got and numerous numbers of them, man. We put it together, we blow it up, baby. So anyway, stay tuned. And like I said, anything donated is always appreciated, y'all. So we're getting ready to get into that who's hot and who's not. But before we do, I got to give a big shout out to my main man, Parker Eccles, out there. Been on vacation for a little while. I tried to call him. He tried to call me back. We've been playing phone tag. I think he got home yesterday. So I got to get him a call this week. But the #1 tree service in Savannah, locally owned, locally operated, fully insured. Doesn't matter what it is, full tree removal. You need some stump grinding, limbs cut back. I mean, let's be honest. We're into hurricane season. Come on, man. We all know that. I got to call him about a job I need done anyways. But at the end of the day, make sure you're calling him. You'll see that number scroll on the screen all night long. Again, as I always like to say, no job too big, too small. Make sure you give Parker a call, baby. I love you, man. I'll give you a call here tomorrow sometime. I'm off. I'll holla at you, brother. Love you, dude. So getting into the who's not, man. But before we do, we're going to pause for station identification, y'all. It's Wednesday night. I don't have to work tomorrow. I got a really good day planned up tomorrow. I'm excited about what I got planned up. So we're going to pause right here. Station identification, Coach's Corner Sports Network, y'all. Man, it's been a while since I've been inside. A little different being in here. What we do last year, Lawrence, 1 episode, 2 episodes in here? 2 or 3 maybe max. Different being in here. It's way different. I love being outside. Totally different. Totally different. Yeah, it's a lot cooler this time of year in here. No complaints on that, but, you know, a little different in here. So who's hot, man? Still taking #1 for me, and a lot of people go back and forth, but I'm taking Denny Hamlin still #1. Look, you know, 3 wins on the year, tied for the most. Consistency week in, week out. Brings the thunder. Fast race cars. Another top 5 finisher, 6 finish there at Worldwide Technology. Experienced crew chief, experienced driver. Could it be the year? I still say no. I still say he goes out in the round to 8, to be honest with you. Now, we'll see what he does at Martinsville. You know, that last one, we'll see. But I still think he goes out in the round to 8. But we'll see what happens, man. So, #2, Christopher Bell, dude. And I tell you what, I still haven't come up with a nickname for Christopher Bell, but I need to. I need to find out if he ever even had one while he dirt racing growing up and all that stuff. But, man, I tell you what, he's #2 on the hot list. This guy's been heating up over the last few weeks, man. 20 car looks like he's coming into his own. Young driver, finally kind of, I think, getting comfortable with what he has, and obviously the communication and getting those setups off the trailer onto the track are huge. They've been bringing it, man. You know, heartbreaker for him last week. That's part of it. It happens. But at the end of the day, I like him. I think he's a very young, talented driver, and he's probably going to be the face of JGR here in the next few years. Ty Gibbs, yeah, he's got talent too, but hadn't won yet. Christopher Bell's got a few, man, so get at me. You know what I mean? Christopher Bell, new face of JGR whenever a couple retired. You heard it here first, man. And I know this is going to make Lawrence happy, but I'm going to throw $1 in there because these damn Fords. All right, Ford in general, but I'm going 1. Bad Brad, man. Bad Brad K has got a streak going on. I think going into last weekend, he had 3 top 2 finishes or whatever it might be. A good little streak, maybe going for the 4th one. I don't remember what it was. Finished right outside, but I tell you what, definitely already has that win on the season there at Darlington. Comes back strong here, good showing. Ford is cranking it up. Summertime, Ford is cranking it up, man. So at the end of the day, hats off to him. I'm not a Ford man. I like my Chevrolet, my Hendrick Chevys, and specifically, I'll always be a Hendrick Motorsports guy. That's it until that's non-existent. But at the end of the day, got to give credit where credit's due, and it's due over there at RFK, man. So good job, Brad. Keep it up, baby. So getting ready to get into the who's not, man. And there's a few on here, and I hate to do it to him, but it's about time. Bubba Wallace is on the not list, okay? I'm going to say it like this. Has nothing to do. It's just performance, honestly. Hadn't been in the news that much. Hadn't been really opinionated in a way where people are offended or whatever. I never get offended. I don't really care what it is. But anyway, some people out there get really hurt whenever he speaks or whatever. Not me. I judge the man's opinion just like anybody else's. But at the end of the day, man, he's just cold. I think after coming off of the season that we had last year at 23-11 for him, you're like, okay, you know, I can see it. Got some good equipment, got the talent there rolling, man. We're in good shape. This year, a couple good runs, but has really failed to show that consistency. And when you got the big money sponsors that they have over there, and you see Tyler Reddick being able to have some fast race cars and do what he does, you would expect Bubba to be able to do the same thing. Just hadn't really come into fruition this year. So at the end of the day, I think they can turn it around in the summer. Got a couple good tracks coming up for them here later on in the year. I think we start with top 15s, top 12s, and then build from there. So if you can get back into the top 10 week in and week out, I think it's a lot of good juju to be able to contend. That means you're showing some speed. So hopefully they get on it. Also on the coal list, which this is one of my favorite, all right, also on the coal list, anybody out there that either has a complaint or did not even think Kyle Larson was ever going to get that NASCAR waiver or has a reason why he shouldn't have got it, y'all are on the coal list. Come on, man. You're going to take one of the best drivers in all of motorsports, really. Let's be honest, man. The guy gets behind all kinds of stuff and wins, all right? Goes to NASCAR and wins. You know, I mean, Indy, all right? Qualified inside, you know, top 5 or 6th place, whatever. Speeding penalty got him. Other than that, that would have been a good finish for him. First time ever behind the car. I mean, come on, behind the wheel of the car in an actual race format at one of the most prestigious races you can honestly race ever in motorsports. Come on, man. You guys are on the coal list, man. Quit hating on the sport. Quit hating on Kyle Larson. Quit hating on whoever, man. Whatever. Okay, and your one argument, the one argument you're going to have to come with is that if it was, I don't know, let's say if it was Cody Ware, would he got the waiver? I don't know. Cody Ware doesn't also bring the eyes on NASCAR that Kyle Larson does. So, I mean, if we're going to play favoritism and play that, let's just call it what it is. No, he probably wouldn't have got it. And there's reasons why. He got reinstated, didn't he? All right, man. That's it. Enough said. You guys are on the cold list, man. Also, always, till we get after the Chicago race and we don't have to worry about it anymore, NASCAR's STDs, mufflers, and the electric vehicle thoughts. No, man. Can't be doing that, y'all. So we're going to get this worldwide technology recap going, man, and I do have a special guest coming on. I got to make a phone call here in just a few minutes, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to get him lined up here right after we go through this recap of worldwide technology. Special guest coming on, really good, young, talented driver out of Tennessee up there. Really excited to have him on the show as well. I've been keeping up with him for, I don't know, last year and some change. I think right around there, kind of fell into him. And really enjoy love and the passion. I mean, you guys also know, I mean, we support Will Hare Racing, obviously. I mean, we love them to death. We'll be sponsoring that car at some point in time, if not this year, next year. But this is a young, talented driver, and I'm really going to try to start looking out throughout the country and find some guys that really have that passion and want to be able to, come up there and keep the sport that we all love going. So once we get through this, we're going to try to give him a call, man. Hopefully he's ready for us. We talked a little bit earlier today, and we'll get it going, man. So, worldwide technology recap, and I tell you what, man, not that bad of a race, but it was a typical NASCAR race when you get old school racing in my way. Restarts were great, clean air meant so much, and tires and car setup. You saw a few come on and come off, tires on, good runs, short runs, good long runs, but it just got spaced out, and that's kind of the nature of NASCAR. I enjoy seeing it, I love it, and again, at the end of the day, had a really good race when it came down to the finish, man. Christopher Bell looked like the guy to beat all day. McDowell led there early, but once the 20 established itself and got the lead, it was tough to beat, man. He was killing it, absolutely killing it. I think they came out and said had an engine valve mishap, and I think it was like the third time they had rebuilt and ran that engine. I'm not positive, don't quote me on that, but I was kind of skimming through an article on it. And he kind of lost the power, man, lost horsepower. And big kudos to Martin Truex Jr. What a stand-up dude, man. I had him. Yeah, I mean, to push him through and keep him in the top 10, probably would have fell outside the top 10 had he not. So good kudos and good teamwork there. Yeah, well, hey, I like it. Whatever. Do whatever, man. It's no different than Talladega push somebody to a win. Whatever. I have no bad things to say about it. Great job there at JGR. Good way to show a little bit of teamwork's dream work, man. Ford in general had a great showing, man. They qualified great. Yeah, I know. Ford. Qualified great, man, and, had a really good showing there. Penske was running all up front. Brad Kay up there, Chris Buescher there for a little while as well. Look, really good run for Ford. They're heating up. I hate it. Ryan Blaney, man, after Christopher Bell fell out, I thought Ryan Blaney, that was a wrap. Even before, like he had him pass and couldn't come back and had him wrapped up, had the race wrapped up. Coming to that white flag, ran out of gas, man, and Austin Cindric, the teammate, was there, had enough to get the job done. As I mentioned earlier, man, second Cup career win for Austin Cindric. Won the biggest one, I think. Trevor Bayne is what comes to my mind. Like, you literally won your first race at the biggest race NASCAR has to offer. So that's big shoes to fill, I think coming into this week, you can look out for the 2. I mean, he's got a little style on some road courses. We'll see what he can do. But at the end of the day, a great win there for him. It's kind of different on the other shoe, as if we're going to talk about Kyle Larson having a playoff waiver. Do we want to see an Austin Cindric that has an average finish of like 21-6 in the playoffs? I hate to say it, but I'll say it. I mean, I just said it, He won. He's due a spot in. Unless we get 17, then we'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, made the playoffs, man. Good run. Did not go without the drama, as it never does, y'all. The Kyle and Kyles got into it. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch there a little bit. Kind of squeezed him up a little bit, got into each other there, the 8 and the 5. I think Kyle Busch squeezed him back down. They rubbed a couple times, and man spun out. And ruined Kyle Busch's day. Larson still, tried to compete, salvaged the day on what it was. But, hey, man, always got some drama. And as we go into the summer, I'm telling you, over and under, I got $5 out there, over and under, donating to charity. $5, 2 fights. At least 2 more fights are going to happen this summer for sure. Whether it's a push or a punch. All right? 2 more fights are going to happen at least before the end of the year. Mark my words. So, again, all in all, wasn't that bad of a race, man. Again, I tuned in, got to watch a good bit of it. I was pretty tired, had a pretty good, long, exciting weekend, as I tend to do, if you guys know me. But at the end of the day, it was great. Great race. I love the fact they're very close to kind of where I'm from. Not extremely close, but close enough. If I was ever up there, I would definitely make the trip to go see that race. So, at the end of the day, I hope it stays on the schedule. Maybe move it around in the year a little bit. I don't know when would be a great time for up there. I mean, it's still nice weather. Just kind of depends. But at the end of the day, maybe move it around a little bit, shake up the schedule on that race. But hopefully they keep it on, and I like it. I enjoy it. It's a little bit of old school NASCAR coming back there, man. So we're going to give them a call here and see if we can't get them on the phone, y'all. All right, we're going to give a young guy's name is Everett Larson, man. Really cool guy. Pretty sure he's out of the Kingsport, Tennessee area. But we're going to give him a call, see if we can't get him on real quick, man. Hey, Everett, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, brother. This is Brandon from Rubbin' and Grubbin', man. How's it going?
It's going really good out here.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. So to get with you, man, just wanted to give you a big shout out and obviously put you on. I've been following you on your social here for the last, year and some change, man, and you seem like a really cool, young, talented kid that's got some passion. So what form of racing, what class of racing and everything do you do up there?
I'm currently driving open wheel modified dirt car, number 5 open wheel modified at 411 Speedway. Well, I watched, whenever I was really young, I watched the Richard Petty crash video, and ever since I got hooked on racing and all that.
Oh, I like it, man. I like it. So how's it been going this season so far?
It started out pretty good, and then last race my motor blew up.
Yeah.
Something happened in the oil pan and all that, so we're going to have to figure that out.
Okay.
But we found a new motor. We kind of found an organ donor.
Okay, awesome, man. Yeah, I kind of tuned in, saw that on your social a little bit earlier in the week, man. So anybody that's out there watching, man, you got a little donor motor for the man up there. Hey, get a hold of them. So Everett, again, getting back to kind of a little bit of that NASCAR stuff, man. Tell me who your favorite driver is today in NASCAR.
Corey LaJoy.
Oh, yeah. I know you guys have a tight little thing, and he's kind of helped you out and gave you some love out there too, man. I tell you what, really cool guy. We actually have a pit crew member that works in Xfinity and Truck Series that is really good friends with Corey and grew up with Corey. So it kind of hits home for us down here in Savannah, Georgia too as well, man. So really like that and really enjoy that for you as well. So tell everybody, man, a little bit about kind of what you aspire to do, man. Where are we going with the racing? You going to keep it up and try to grow as we get older, or do you have any plans coming up to maybe move up a class or kind of get your feet wet in something else?
Yeah, I'm kind of open to anything right now. Whatever, if anybody wants me to drive something, I'll drive it. But the main goal is to get into NASCAR someday soon, hopefully, and be able to drive one of those Cup cars and everything.
Hey, I like it, man. We all got to dream big, man. I still have dreams at my age too. So, yeah, I tell you what, man. I really am getting involved. Like I said, if you watch the show, we have a younger driver down here in Savannah, races legends, Will Hare Racing. Really good family, really cool folks that come out. So I'm trying to kind of follow some kids around because. I was a kid. I never raced myself, honestly, to be honest, but I grew up watching NASCAR and going to NASCAR from the time I can remember. So always been one of my favorite sports, and obviously without the kids being involved, you can't continue the sport on, and I really want to see it continue on, man. So tell everybody out there a little bit of how they can reach out and kind of keep up with you, man, your social media handles, and, tell everybody kind of what you got going on and how they can keep in contact with you.
All right, well, my socials are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and it's Everett Larson Racing.
Okay, Everett Larson Racing out there, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So anybody out there watching, man, you guys can follow him there. Really cool kid. I keep up with him, man. They do a really good job. And yeah, I mean, we're talking. Will's dad's here with us now, and it's like, hey, man, maybe we can get together at some point in time and collab a little bit. And if you're ever down this way, man, maybe he'll let you drive the Legend, or maybe if they're ever up that way, maybe put him on a little bit of dirt, which would be different for him for sure. So. But just wanted to give you a big shout out, man, and just keep up the good work and keep the passion hungry. And if there's anything that we can ever do here at Coach's Corner in Savannah, or Rubbin' and Grubbin' can ever do for you, man, let us know, okay, brother?
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
Hey, not a problem at all, man. We'll give you a shout here later on the season and see how everything's going for you, brother.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Everett. Have a good night, man. We'll talk to you later, brother.
You too. See ya.
All right. Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, so again, Everett Larson Racing right there, man. Everett Larson, the man, the myth, the legend himself, right? I mean, young kid, really good. Been keeping up with him, like I said, for about a year and a half now. And don't know, something about him caught my eye. I like it. Very good personality there. And again, you heard it. Follow him on social media out there, man. Support those young race car drivers. That's really what it's all about, man. So go out, follow him. And again, if you're in that area, or Everett and you know where your races and you can lend a hand, lend him a hand, man, because I think that's one thing that, the racing community is all about. Really, you watch out for each other one way or another, and you help guys succeed. And I think that's what we all need to do. So, again, thank you, Everett. I appreciate you, brother. And we'll give you a call here before school starts and get you back on, man. Thank you. So let me get pulled back up. And while we're waiting, I am going to get my last cold beer this evening. So, Lauren, been a little while since Lauren's threw one inside, but we're getting ready to find out how this goes, man, for sure. So, oh yeah, drying it off. Got to get the grip right. Got to get the grip right. And there it is. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. It was. I'm glad I caught it. All right, man. So, getting into that next segment of the show here on Rubbin' and Grubbin', baby, we're getting into that Sonoma preview. Look, anybody that knows me knows I'm not a fan of road courses, but this is definitely one that's got to stay on the schedule forever. You never get rid of it. True, actual road course. Elevation changes, man. Some nice sweeping corners, a lot of good passing zones, and it takes a lot of skill and strategy now to kind of get back into it. So, again, going to be an awesome race. I'll be tuning in on Sunday. So, who's going to win? I have no idea, but make sure you tune in. If you're looking for somewhere, better yet, come up to Coach's Corner, the #1 spot in Savannah to catch your NASCAR racing live right here. They got it on inside. You can go out to the Sound Garden, man. Huge TVs out there. Just make sure you come up and check it out, man. So getting into it, like I said, wine country again. I'm sure the NASCAR drivers' wives absolutely love it. You are in wine country up there for sure. But getting into that top 5, and the top 5 I got here is a little bit different than my list for our little game of skill up here. But number 1, got to be Tyler Reddick. I tell you what, this kid has absolutely shown you what he can do on road courses over the last few years. You see my gear, you already know who I'm pulling for, and that's why he comes in at number 2, baby. Chase the Bulldog Elliott, the man, the road course king. He's coming back. He's reclaiming that throne right here at Sonoma. Go and get that win, baby. Oh, no, Lauren's saying choke. He's not choking, man. He's about to go out here and get that win. 9-car all day long, man. 3, got to be Denny Hamlin. Maybe not the road course ace, but he has a good way of putting himself in contention, finishing those races as he has all year. So I'll take him 3. 4 for me, another Hendrick. I'm going William Byron, baby. I think William Byron, good little road course racer. Not only that, simulation racing also has to pay dividends when it comes down to road course racing. More laps logged behind the wheel, figuring out things, trying those setups. I don't think anybody knows simulation racing better than William Byron. He is the GOAT of sim racing. So we'll go ahead and put Byron there.